Hi, and welcome to Effective Storytelling. Our 5-minute stories have one key purpose: to connect life to learning in an entertaining way. There are no heroes or villains, just ordinary people providing extraordinary learning, often making you smile and usually making you think. So, on with today's story. Fruit, Postcard and Keyring. We often finish any time management program with this activity. We ask the participants to choose and write down 3 objectives arising from the work we've done on the program. The first should be a short-term objective, something that could be completed, say, in the next 7 working days. The second objective should be medium-term, something that can be achieved within, say, 2 months. The third objective should be a life change, something profound and permanent that the individual wants to change about their life and, in particular, how they use time in their life. Examples of each might be: short-term objective, start and maintain a to-do list on Outlook. Medium-term objective, design and deliver a project according to the principles discussed on this program. Permanent for life, stop blaming time as an excuse for not doing something. Once these 3 objectives have been chosen, the participant then is offered the chance of reinforcing these by being given, respectively, a fruit, for example orange or banana, a postcard and a keyring. The fruit will symbolise time passing. The deal is this: if the participant takes the fruit, they undertake to put it on their desk and not remove it until their short-term objective has been met. The postcard encourages signing off an assignment within a specific and agreed time. If the participant takes the postcard, they have to write their medium-term objective on it and keep it visible on their desk. They then have to get it signed off when the objective is completed and send it back to me by no later than 1 month from the day of this program. If 2/3 of those taking the postcard return their cards by the agreed date, we offer an additional half-day program for free for those participants. The keyring is a permanent daily reminder of the change they are committed to making. Any participant taking the keyring must attach it to their regular bunch of keys and, as they do, associate this keyring with their life-changing commitment. The idea is that every time they see the keyring, at least twice a day, they will recall the commitment to change they are making. Once the commitment is embedded, to the extent that they no longer need the keyring, then they should do one of 3 things: throw it away, pass it on to someone else who can use it in the same way, or return it to us. We have a sweet jar of keyrings returned in this way. Once all this has been explained, each participant has then the choice as to whether they take a fruit, postcard or keyring away, or all 3. We make it very clear that there is no requirement to take any of these 3 objects, but if they do, they are committing to the deal implied. This activity is a powerful metaphor at a number of levels. Firstly, each object is a very powerful reminder of an obligation made, which depends entirely on the individual to deliver, or not. The fruit will sit on the desk and start to rot. The postcard will also be on their desk, always in their line of sight, and the keyring will come into view at least twice daily. Secondly, the 3 objects, once explained, confront each participant with a decision: do I take it or not? This encourages each participant to look inward and ultimately either to be honest with themselves or take a step forward on any or all of the 3 options. As such, the decision requires some degree of self-awareness and reflection. Thirdly, the activity encourages and rewards self-discipline. Though the 3 objects they can see benefit and reward from undertaking a task and delivering on it. Finally, and this is something we say, though commitments are easily made at the end of the program, they are not so easy to deliver back in the real world. We have been running this activity now for over 10 years, perhaps 60 or more times. Only twice have we had the offer of the additional half day, achieved. For example, that is, only 2 groups have ever managed to return 2/3 of their postcards. This perhaps is the key message. Saying is one thing, but if you really want to make a difference, you have to do it, to persist, persevere, and stick at it. And it has to be important enough to beat off all the other activities clamouring for their limited time. There are several takeaways from this story. Metaphors and props. Fruit. The use of fruit as a metaphor for time passing really works, especially if you choose a fruit that has a reasonably quick and visible decay time. And it also acts as a physical prop, something real, which a metaphor isn't, and visible. So the combination of metaphor and prop work really well to bring home that time is always running out and in that sense is never on your side, especially if you are prone to delay and prevarication. Postcard. Another physical prop that can be placed anywhere visible to its owner. It's also a metaphor for communication. A postcard implies something that contains a message to send to someone else. Keyring. Another physical prop to be used every day, usually at least twice a day, forever, until. So there's no avoiding it. Like the fruit, it's a permanent reminder, a memory and action jogger. And in terms of metaphor, then the word key can imply particularly powerful meanings. Key as in significant, key as in something that unlocks or locks. Taking ownership. Together, the fruit, postcard and keyring are associated with taking personal ownership. Will you take ownership of any or all of the short, medium and permanent changes offered? Will you take ownership of the 3 props provided? Will you use them as described? Will your own commitments with you keep your promise and honour your word? Honesty. The activity makes it clear that there is absolutely no need for anyone to take up any of the 3 challenges. So it's okay to leave the fruit, postcard or keyring. Though this is mentioned lightly in passing, it is actually a test of the individual's honesty and integrity, of a part of their value system. Perhaps some will take the objects because they think it looks better if I do, or it will please the trainer. All of this is for the individual to decide. Their actual motive for taking or leaving any of the objects is for them privately to decide. Incentives. Most of those taking part are attracted by the idea of a free half-day programme. So of course, to claim this, 2/3 of those taking the card, not the whole group, have to meet the requirement. So there is more of a public commitment and to the group by taking the card. So those taking the card are perhaps not only incentivised by the free half day, but also by contributing to a group benefit. Priorities. We do not know how many people eat the fruit or achieve a permanent keyring change, though some do let us know. But we do know that most of the groups taking the postcard fail to meet the requirement. We are fairly sure that at the point of taking the card, the individuals are fully committed and intend to meet the challenge set. So what happens? We think the best answer to that is priorities change. At the point of decision to take the card, the mindset is that it ought to be completely achievable. And coming to the end of hopefully a successful course, people are primed with enthusiasm and positivity. But as we suspect you all know, this doesn't always last. Reality does. Other things, other priorities get in the way, and the initial enthusiasm and positivity wanes, particularly as new priorities have either more appeal or more significance. Urgent and important. Or they have more urgency. At the time, those taking the postcard thought it important enough to do so, because it would help them personally, or help the group, or both. But perhaps sadly, urgency usually demotes importance in the priority ladder. The importance of the card may well be displaced by a succession of more urgent tasks. Leadership. The few groups who return enough postcards to get the free half day have one thing in common: leadership. Someone within the group contacts the rest of the group, finds out if they took a card, asks if they've sent it in, and nudges them to do so before the deadline, reminding them that the group and free half day depend on it. And in one case, we know someone asked everyone to send their cards directly to them first, so they would be collectively passed on, and this leader would know whose cards were missing and could chase. Such leaders were not appointed. They were never the most senior or experienced member of the group. So they are an excellent example of what we call leadership not in the title. People do not have to have a position of leadership in order to demonstrate leadership. Remember, you can search lots of stories at effectivelearning.co.uk/storytelling. Browse over 50 themes to find the perfect one. You'll also find transcripts and downloads of every story. And of course, if you enjoyed listening, please share and remember to subscribe. And if you have a story you'd like to share, please email us at hello@effectivelearning.co.uk.